Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. I'm James from Crowhaven Woodworks. And needless to say, our little Dewalt DW735 thickness planer gets a lot of use in this shop. I've changed the knives on this several times over the years, but I think it's come time where we're going to have to upgrade to a helical cutter head in this. So what we're going to do is we got the FOXBC Helical Cutterhead replacement for the DW735 planer. We're going to go into it. We're going to see what comes in the box. We're going to take this puppy apart. We're going to install this. And then we're going to do a couple tests on it. So stick around. You don't want to miss this. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, we're going to see what comes in the box. As you can see, it's for this planer. We're going to take out our good old Swiss Army knife. I never go anywhere without my Swiss Army knife. Feel naked without it, actually. You don't want to see me naked. Okay. In our installation instructions. Also, there is video on their site. It's on Amazon on the listing for this too. There's a video. Full color pictures. Detailed assembly. All right, let's take a look. What we have is cutter head screws. Carbide cutters. Just take a look at one. What's nice about these is you get 4 sides. You chip one, you can spin that and use another side. With a knife, you chip it, you're done. It's chipped. You're going to get a line. So we have our screws. All our cutter heads, and I do believe you get extra cutter heads with this. So we have 2 Torx T-wrenches. Oh, that's heavy. And that's our wheel, our cutter head. What's nice, it comes without the cutter heads on it because you got to take them off anyways to install this. It makes life easy. And there she is. Wow. That's heavy. That's the FOXBC Helical Cutterhead. Okay. We're just going to put that in there until we need it. All right, let's get to work. Okay, no time like the present. We're going to start by taking this cover off, and that's going to give us access to the blower and the cutter head. Okay, here's our blower assembly, our drive motor. So what we're going to do is take these long wing nuts off. And that's going to let us take the blower housing off. I'm just going to put these right in here. Now you see you have a line on your blower housing, and you have closed and open. Right now it's locked in and closed. So you can grab these two right here. You want to give it a twist so they open and the arrow line up. Then you can pop this right off. Now we see our planer knife cutter head. Lots of pitch. Like I said, it gets lots of use. And these are fairly new knives in it. Okay, first thing, we're going to remove the handle and the right side panel. All right, so it's a good idea to have some magnetic dishes around so you don't lose your screws. And we're going to have 4 screws holding that panel on. And that cover comes right off. And we got a nice dusty chain. Now you can see that chain and gear assembly. You've got our drive pulley. You have an idler. Keeps tension on the chain. Serpentine belt. All this is going to come off. Okay, so now we're going to remove the left side panel. And we have 3 screws. And there's our gearbox. Okay, so what I did, I got 2 magnetic dishes again. One for the left side and one for the right side, so I don't mix up anything. And again, you have your gears, your chain, your idler spring. All this is coming off. Okay, so now you see on these shafts, each sprocket's held on with snap rings. So we're going to remove these snap rings. Woo! There's one. And 2. Now we're going to remove the spring from the idler. And let the idler hang. Now we should be able to remove the sprockets and the chain. I'm going to leave it just like that. We're going to go back to the other side. Okay, on the other side, we're going to remove the tensioner. There's a Phillips head screw, holds that on. Oh, there we go. Comes right off. My bad. You can just let your idler spring hang down. Put that right in the bowl. Now you can remove the two sprockets in the chain. We're going to remove these screws. Through the magic of television, I already broke them free. So when we remove these, so we have our two sprockets and chain. And sprockets can only go on one way. Okay, now we're going to roll the belt off the pulley, putting tension on it towards the outside. So, there we are. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold the pulley and the trusty impact to loosen these up. Might have to get an extension. Maybe not. Okay, they're all loose. Go back to my driver. Let me get a magnet. Somewhere along the line, we lost the Torx tool with the magnet that comes with the planer. I don't know where it is. I've looked everywhere. Just really, I had to change these knives the same way. Okay. Plate off. And our cutter knife, which doesn't want to come off. All right. Okay. Well, by rights, you still have one side that's brand new. Like I said, Just changed those not that long ago. We're going to spin this around. Go back to our impact. Loosen these up. Would help if I had a Woodworks on here. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. One stripped down cutter head. Okay, now we're gonna remove the cutter head lock plate. Two Phillips head screws. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the other bowl because it's on the left side. Right under this is a spring. Be careful. Okay, so now we're going to loosen the gearbox screws, which I already broke free. And now we're going to turn the speed adjustment knob to the right, and that's going to loosen our gearbox. So on the cutter head, we can unscrew the pinion gear counterclockwise. We'll take this out, get it out of our way. There is a snap ring in here. If you can see that. So we're going to have to remove that. That's it. Watch your eyes. So we're going to wedge a board between the cutter head and the carriage so we can remove the pulley and taking this nut off. There's a key. Don't lose the key.
I am the keymaster.
And that washer. Oh, there's a snap ring on this side as well. It's going to have to come out. Try to hold the light and do that at the same time. So I'm going to take this pinion gear. And we're going to screw it right back into the cutter head. Block of wood. And we're going to drive out the cutter head and the bearing assembly. Okay. And we're out. Okay, so while I have this out, we're going to clean up all this junk, this pitch. And we'll get this all looking nice, clean the races of the bearings before we assemble the new cutter head. So we were able to clean all that pitch up fairly easily. I scraped off the heavy stuff. So a good thing that cleans this up is denatured alcohol. It eats right through it. We cleaned up the inside. Now we're good to go. Reassemble. So now we have the new cutter head we're going to install. So what I'm going to do is use my finger, kind of guide that through the other race. Okay, now we're going to put our snap ring back in. Now we're just going to give it a little tappy tap to make sure it's seated. Okay, now we're going to assemble our pulley. I'll put the spacer back. And the key. extra piece of wood in there. It comes with a new nut. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to put the other snap ring on the other side. We can make sure that that's seated. Looks good. Now we're going to take our pinion gear and our washer. Okay, we're going to loosen up this, take this pulley cover off so we can make sure that that belt is still lined up on the drive pulley, which it is. And we're going to kind of roll this belt on. It's going to be very tight. Okay, with a little fight, we have it all lined up. Now we're going to reinstall the gearbox. You want to make sure our pins line up, and you're going to have to turn the speed adjustment knob so the fork engages in the end of the shaft and inside goes through the cradle. Okay, we have our 3 bolts. Yeah, I'm going to cinch those up. Now we're going to take our gear Okay, we have our snap rings. Up our spring. Okay, now we can put our cover back on. And we'll go back to the other side. Now we put our gear and chain on. So I kept everything together when I took it off, so it lines right up. I'm going to put our screws on. Now we're going to put our tensioner on. We're going to use a little thread locker blue. Now we can hook up our spring. Okay, so now we're going to put the dusty dust cover back on. Let me wipe this out. Okay, now we can put our adjustment wheel on. Our screw. Okay. I think we are ready to put our cutters in and then fire this baby up. We're going to put our cutter lock in. So the spring, you just want to watch doesn't go flying on you. Okay, so we're going to put a little drop of blue thread locker on this. This is so it can't vibrate out and fall into that cutter head. That would be a disaster. Okay, so it comes with all the screws. It actually has 2 of these wrenches. These are all the cutters. And I do believe you get extra screws. So we're going to start right here. Make sure you got the bevel side of the cutter down. It'll line right up with the edge here. Now you don't want to crank these down. You could crack them. You want to snug it up nice and tight, but don't wrench on it. There's a little dot. It's kind of a reference point to show where you started. I'm going to put all the dots in the upper right hand corner. These are carbide cutters. You can break these. Don't drop them on your cement floor. And don't over tighten them. Okay, so we have these. I'm going to go back and double check them, and we're going to do the rest. One thing, if you got a bad back, you're going to be leaning over this. You're going to feel it. Be careful. These are sharp. You can cut yourself. So we end up with 5 extra screws and 5 extra cutter heads. Now, I don't recommend using a gun or a drill on these. Use the wrench that came with it. You're going to look for that screw. You're going to feel it when it bottoms out. It'll seat. cinch them down, go back. Once they're bottomed out, you give it a little snug. Check them a couple times. Don't over crank these, you can crack them. But you'll feel it. You won't be able to turn it anymore. And that's it. I will get it back together and we'll do some tests. We're going to put the blower housing back on. So you're going to want to line up. Where are we? You have open and close. You're going to line up the open, and then once it closes, there's an arrow. Push it in and bring it down. And then we'll put our fasteners back on. Okay, let's take a listen. Well, I'm just going to say right off the bat, that is so much quieter than before. All right, let's get some wood and we'll see how she performs. All right, I'm going to start off. I got a piece of rough pine, native pine, that was run through the planer with the planer knives. As you can see, we got some snipe up here, some lines. I don't know if you can make that out. See the line? So let's run that through. Okay. I'm impressed how quiet that is. Let's get another piece of hardwood and see how that does. I got jointed this board, but it's very rough. Native oak. This is as smooth as glass. This planer's never planed this smooth. Wow. Okay. that's that. As you can see, that's as smooth as glass. The FOXBC Helical Cutterhead for the DW735 and 735X. That's the way to go. You know, you hear about it, how quiet it is, but you can't tell until you actually have one in front of you. And I'm really impressed. Wasn't that hard to install. Just take your time. I hope I helped you out with that. It's a great thing. I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can get this. And I can't say too much more about it. If you got one of these with knives in it, you got to upgrade it. It makes a world of difference. So if you like this video, don't forget to share, give me a like, subscribe, ring that bell. Really helps us out. Lets me bring more tool reviews to you guys, you know, brands and things that the average hobbyist, DIYer, woodworker can afford. That's quality. And again, appreciate all you. I'm James from Crowhaven Woodworks. You have a great day, and we're going to see you on the next video.